Hey folks, this is a second little video on the rhetorical situation, and we're going to talk about something a little bit more complicated. So make sure you read these couple of chapters and maybe watch that first video to give you an easy view of it. Okay, so I am a member of a national organization called the Two-Year College English Association, and it's part of the National Council of Teachers of English. And this organization does research and writes papers and on issues that are important. So these are a bunch of papers and that kind of thing, statements and guidelines. And then there's something called white papers. White papers are an organization's definitive statement about an issue. So this one's on placement reform, for example. It looks like this. It was published in an academic journal, published on the website, and it is read by college administrators, faculty, that means deans, vice presidents, and those kinds of things, and maybe legislators as well. Whoever's interested in how community colleges run, they might read these white papers. Okay, so currently I'm working on a white paper on workload of two-year college English faculty. And so faculty like myself. So how much work do they do? What kind of pressure are they under? That kind of stuff. We're writing a white paper on it. Now that white paper is going to be published, of course, like the last one in a journal and on the website. But there's a unique opportunity right now. The First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, she is an English instructor at our two-year college, Northern Virginia Community College. She has been for years. And her husband, as you probably know, is the President of the United States, Joe Biden. He is promoting free or accessible community colleges. I would love to get our new white paper onto the desk of the First Lady and maybe wrangle an invitation to the White House. That's my dream. I'd love to get to the White House with our white paper to talk about workload for two-year college English faculty. We have a unique opportunity, as I say, because we got one of our own in the White House, so it's pretty cool. So the question is how to write a letter to the First Lady to introduce the document and dangle the idea of an invite to the White House. That's my rhetorical situation. So what's my purpose? Well, I want to get the white paper to the White House, at FLOTUS and POTUS's offices, and maybe get an invite. That's my purpose. Who's the audience? Well, we want to say it's FLOTUS, right? Dr. Jill Biden, but it's also FLOTUS staff, her staff. If I can't get past her levels of staff, I'm not going to get it on her desk. So I have to appeal to her and many layers of administration in order to get there. But I'm also hoping beyond that, that she shows President of the United States and POTUS staff. So there's a whole bunch of people out there looking at this saying, okay, everybody wants access to the White House. Why should we give you access? So that's the audience I got to address. What's the exigence? Why am I being compelled now? Well, because there's this moment when we have a FLOTUS who's also a two-year college English faculty, and CCs are being called upon to do more and more. And so, and POTUS, of course, is part of that. And so we have this moment where we can actually say something that I think is important to them. And this paper is coming out at exactly the right time. So it's got to it's got to happen now. I can't wait a year, that kind of stuff. Context, free, two-year colleges are all over the place. Post-pandemic, we're going to be hoping to ramp up higher education again, all of that kind of stuff. Also, we also know in context, workload for community college faculty is terrible. What's my stance? Well, very respectful. I'm going to be very aware that I am on the outside really making a request of something. So I'm going to be very respectful, calm, subordinate. I'm going to use all formal language and be very conscious of their time and that kind of stuff. However, I'm also an expert on this issue, so I'm not going to shy away from saying what I know. So my relation to the subject is really strong. What's a genre? It's a letter, a formal letter, and it's also a letter of request. And so there are certain kinds of things you want to follow. You can read about those. What's the medium? I'm going to say it's paper in digital form. I'm going to assume at this moment this letter gets to the White House somehow, or the First Lady's office somehow, as an email attachment rather than actual physical paper. That might change once I find out how it works. So I'm going to think about all of these kinds of things as I start to put this letter together and write it up. So that's a rhetorical situation that allows me to analyze my situation, know it better before I start writing. And that's what I want you to be good at, figuring out the situation to understand the context, the audience, the purpose, etc., so you can make more conscious, strategic choices.